Welcome, viewers. This is Winch here, still alive. Glad you could join me. Hope you enjoyed that short little opening montage. That music is by a local Kansas City band that's a friend of the family called Sidewise. That name of the song is Hemlock. Check it out on Google as well as iTunes. Pretty decent band. Sorry it's been a long time, guys, but I couldn't help but jump back into the fray. I am still out there gaming, mainly just playing Destiny 2 and blood-sucking money games, money grab games, mobile games, that is. Stay away from them if you can. That's the best advice I can give you with those pay-to-win games. But here we are in the lull of gaming, and finally, maybe some life is coming back into the genre of first-person shooters. Brought to you by Call of Duty? Huh? Those of you guys that know, I've been a YouTuber for many years. Actually, my channel started with posting Modern Warfare 2 gameplay from Call of Duty back in the day. In my opinion, the heyday of Call of Duty. That's when Infinity Ward was the main producer. Since then, it's changed a lot. I don't want to get in the weeds on all that. Suffice to say that I turned from Call of Duty to Battlefield fairly quickly when following the release of Battlefield Bad Company 2. And then from there on, Battlefield 3 was by far the height of my channel. Then Battlefield 4 it started to taper off a bit, considering the rocky start. And then Battlefield 1, and it wasn't bad, but again, it just wasn't for my channel. And then Battlefield 5, as clearly as you guys know, if you've been following my channel over the years, I'm just not a fan of Battlefield 5 at all. Have not posted any videos for it. In my opinion, it's dead to me. That game is never going to come back. And it's very unfortunate where the state of Battlefield is right now. And honest, I've bought pretty much every reiteration of Call of Duty year after year and regretted it every time. And I mean, I'll buy the game, I'll play it for half an hour, 2 hours, something like that, and I just can't get into it. And then it's like a waste of funds. But I fall for it all the time. So I wasn't, this latest reiteration that you're seeing right here, the new alpha gameplay that everybody's just jumping on, I wasn't really too keen on it this time. I was like, I'm not falling for it this time. Wasn't even paying attention. Then if I started to see some gameplay of this game, and then one of my main criticisms of the most recent Call of Duties was the fact that they always had terrible map design. I miss, again, with Modern Warfare 2 back in the day, in the heyday of Call of Duty, was the big maps. And then they got away from it and they went to this BS 3 alleyway type design where it's just rinse, repeat, same thing all over. Run and die, go down 1, 2, or door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3, and then rinse, repeat. And I hated that style of gameplay, and that's why I like Battlefield. I always like priding tactics and situational awareness and using map design and guerrilla warfare, using a plethora of tools in my arsenal, because I'm not the best Twitch shooter gameplay player out there, and trying to use strategy to getting a tactical advantage over my opponents. And those kind of map designs disfavored the Twitch shooter reflex kind of gameplay. So when I started to hear that we're going to have almost a Battlefield-like mindset with this game, with multiple players, of player counts of up to 100 players possibly, but it sounds like right now at least a couple dozen. And big maps, I said, whoa, this is a dramatic change. And then I started watching some of the gameplay, and I was floored. Guns have recoil. I mean, they feel meaty in this game. The guns, the weapons, the sounds, the animations, just the recoil pattern of that Desert Eagle when you're shooting that thing and how it kind of sways. The muzzle flash, the smoke coming out of the guns. I was very, very impressed. And then I've always been very nostalgic for the AC-130 kill streak. I'm just floored to see that coming back. Always a fan of kill streaks in the game. That was one of the criticisms I had of Battlefield. It's like I wanted some kind of score streak system. They never brought it in. So that basically, I was always a Call of Duty guy at heart in a Battlefield environment. But I really enjoy Battlefield. But like I say, I've gotten away from it. But I'm stoked about the new Modern Warfare here, I believe is what we're calling it. I will be pre-ordering it. This is, of course, the alpha gameplay. But I just can't wait to get my hands on the beta. My impressions of this so far is this game mode is not for me, because it's everything I just told you before. Very small maps, you limited choices. As soon as you're spawning, you're engaging with enemies. Maybe it's good for the Twitch guy out there. I'm not a Twitch streamer guy, or the sweaty competitive stuff, or MLG and all that stuff. But again, that's not my style, guys. But this is going to cater to those kind of players. But unfortunately, this is all I have. But what this allows me to do is get my hands on the game, kind of get a tactile feedback with what these weapons feel like, what the game design is, and see if this is for me. And what this game right now, this alpha, has left me feeling is a desire to play more. I want to play in a bigger scale with more players, and the game modes I like, whether it's domination, control, whatever it's called nowadays, team deathmatch, ground war. Those are the kind of game modes I like. Sabotage, I think, was one, or no, excuse me, headquarters. I really like that in Call of Duty with the previous one. So more, what am I trying to say? More objective-based gameplay. That's what I'm looking for. But this basically gives me a flavor of what we can see in Call of Duty. I mean, unfortunately, there's still no destruction. Coming from Battlefield, that's always something, and call this a little cheeky play right here, but, this is what I'm talking about, guerrilla warfare. I mean, yeah, I'm laying down prone, I'm using tactical advantage to my advantage because, for one, I don't like lever bolt-action weapons. So I'm laying down the weeds, I'm kind of out of sight, they can't see me visually, they're running around, I'm taking advantage of their weakness and their over-aggressiveness, taking on a 2v1 play. Unfortunately, my teammate, I just kind of left him out in the wind there, but again, I'm not communicating with these guys that I'm playing with in this gameplay, but we turned that around, that was a pretty clutch win. We go on to win this match, I believe. So I got some good little highlights here of a couple rounds. Unfortunately, I apologize, most of the gameplay is here on Pine, even though I played on all these maps. Just seemed like I had the best games playing on this map. It just seemed a little bit more realistic map compared to the other ones. Like I said, this game mode, I'm just not into it, but I am enjoying these weapons. I love just the recoil of guns that have actual recoil again, and that really rewards good knowledge of knowing how to burst your gun or how to utilize your gun. I mean, all these weapons right now are pretty foreign to me. I'm not at all comfortable with any of them, but that is one benefit of this game mode, is allows you to every round to try a new weapon and loadout. I think it's randomly generated, so you're seeing a wide swath of guns here. Again, that's not something like I like to know one weapon and get to know it very well. And that's another great aspect of this game, is the fact that we're going to have weapons that you can sit down on a weapons bench and tailor, like with 70 plus customization options at each attachment, whether it's an angled foregrip or a straight foregrip or a reflex sight or a thermal sight or barrels. I mean, there's just, unlike anything we've seen before, it looks like Call of Duty went all in on that, and in terms of weapon customization and really tailoring your weapon to as many I think you can put as many as 5 attachments on a weapon. That's incredible. We've never seen that really before in a first-person shooter. I've always criticized Battlefield for really dropping the ball on that. They tried to dabble with a little bit in Hardline back in the day with the gun bench, but it was, truth be told, it was just, it wasn't a measured effect. They could have gone further. So they're going all in with that. The maps are bigger with Call of Duty. I'm excited. I'm more excited to play a first-person shooter than I have been in a long time. Maybe since Battlefield 4, I would say. Ever since then, it's just the market with EA and all these disasters of these publishers just churning out games that are just not good. We really desperately need this in the gaming community, a decent game. And I'm shocked that Call of Duty really kind of has reinvented itself here. And it's done a drastic, big change. And I've watched some of the YouTubers out there and the videos they put out, and the common theme is that they're calling it Battlefield. When you're playing on these big maps and these big player counts, they're calling it this basically pseudo Battlefield. You can have vehicles now that you can drive around in. Granted, it's not going to be on the same level that you see in a Battlefield game in terms of the visual perspectives and first-person shooter, or in the tank that is first-person perspective. Don't get owned, son. Boom. We had some moments where it's pretty fun. Pretty fun, even though it's always so segmented. It's like as soon as you're killing somebody, you're restarting the match. But it does have that this game mode does have the draw of, like, I'll play one more round. I just kept finding myself after the conclusion of a match, I'm like, oh, how about one more, and like I said, I'm not communicating with all these players, so it's just kind of a drinking from a fire hose scenario here. It's not really all that tactical, but I can see how if you get a guy with a squad and gets communication going, this can get pretty sweaty pretty quick. And like I say, that's just not for me. I'm an older gamer, is what you call a dad gamer these days, even though I don't have any kids. But my Twitch reflex shooter skills are not what they used to be back in the heydays of Modern Warfare 2 when I was playing. But like I say, this I'm very impressed so far. I mean, if the critics or criticisms I would have, like I said, there's no destruction. I mentioned that before. The graphics still, to me, seem bad. This still looks, I mean, they say they've even buffed it or improved the graphics, but to me, nah, it's still not anywhere close to Battlefield type caliber graphics. But that's, you know, Call of Duty's never really prided itself on its visuals. It's been more about the game, and that's what it boils down to. Is the game fun? Is it entertaining? Is it engrossing? Does it have good hit detection? Is the gunplay crispy? You know, that's what Call of Duty's always been, and fun, and it's competitive as well. I think this has a lot of potential. I mean, now we're having cross-play platform, like PC, Xbox, PlayStation 4 can all play seamlessly. I've been wanting that for years. I think that's very good, particularly for the PC base, because Call of Duty's never been that big of a base on that platform. So we'll see how that goes. As Trump would say, we'll see how it goes. See what happens. Don't get me started. But I also have concerns regarding maybe cheating or hacking, because that always seemed to be a problem on PC. I hate to say that's another reason I don't play on PC. It's rampant with hackers and exploiters and cheaters. It's a more difficult platform for a game publisher to ensure there's no cheating on it. It always seems if there is a problem with cheating, it always seems to be on PC. So that's my concern, is that we're going to get some aim bots or, you know, wall hacks or something, and then you got the crossplay, and then of course there's the issue of controller versus mouse. You know, controller being the inferior user interface, but I believe you can use a keyboard and mouse even on PlayStation 4 right now, which you know, that whatever works for you. You know, but like I say, if you're using a controller, you better be using a little bit of aim assist, because there's just no way you can hold a candle to a guy using a keyboard and mouse. But I'm just impressed that they're bringing all these components into the game. The crossplay, whatever interface you want to use, it's free. There's no DLC charging. I mean, this is incredible. They're not trying to segment the player base. So finally, it seems like these first-person shooters are coming around after all these years and all these hard lessons learned of whether it's loot boxes or paid DLC and, you know, the money grab EA stuff. So, you know, they're finally coming around and being like, okay, let's try to reward the players and keep the game interesting and keep it on the front lines. And I'm starting to see that. And I think with Call of Duty Modern Warfare here, I think the tide's going to turn. Am I endorsing this game? Not yet. But I will be playing the beta, so look for my beta footage coming up. I'm not going to be posting any more videos in the alpha here. I think you've seen all there is to see here. Like I say, these are some of my better matches I had here. I think I even had one match where it was like nearly flawless, 12 kills and 1 death or something like that. You saw that earlier in gameplay. I neglected to mention it. look at this deagle, man. This thing just boom. Oh, get owned, son. Oh, yeah. Those guys are trash talking, too. There's always a little bit of that between the rounds, but douche. it's fun. You know, you go get aggressive out there, and the two-hit melee, this guy jump around like a jackrabbit. But like I say, I'm liking the guns. I'm liking the changes. I can't wait to see weapon customization and big broad spectrum maps with kill streaks and EC 130 above. I can't wait to hear those words again. Man, that just looks so cool. I've seen the kill streaks so far was the gunship or the juggernaut. It looks pretty fast paced. Looks pretty tactical to me too. You know, it's a little more campy, but I like that. I think that rewards tactics and strategies and situational awareness. That's something I've always touted all these years over my first-person shooter experience. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I say, I'll have more beta content to come with Call of Duty. Until then, I will see you then. And as always, I will see you on the battlefield.